One.
I have you saying one, so that's cool. We know we did a countdown. Anyway, hello, hello! Hello, hello. It is time for another FPS, and I am quite excited because I haven't played with this player for a while, and that's because this is my friend. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Inky, and today I'm playing M1A, the little UFO, and Cody, who is also a UFO.
It comes in two different colors.
Yep.
Yeah,
Take
they're
your
very
pick.
cute. They are very, very, very cute, and I am
Pick your
playing.
players. Yet.
Yeah, I am playing Ludwig von Drake. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it is Return of the Bad Accent. I am trying. I swear, it's not meant to be offensive. It's trying to base it off this voice from the old cartoons, which is not any accent, and I'm doing my best. Doing my best.
You're doing
So,
wonderfully.
anyway, to spontaneously combust, I mean, improvise a introduction because I didn't write one, but it is a magical time of year in Toontown and most any place because it is Animas. It is the beginning of that lovely holiday where people light candles and sing songs, and the backgrounds suddenly develop snow. I don't know, like, maybe there's a sort of a pan wipe and just like there is snow.
Yeah, yeah. It just happens very suddenly. It's just,
The autumn leaves are
I
replaced. um,
yeah, they just all drop at once.
yeah, it's like that scene in the Bone comic. There's just like this blanket that goes BAM!
Yeah.
But inside Ludwig's studio, it is always merry and bright, in fact. But it is, yes, it is extra sparkly today, and the little UFOs may be a bit curious about this because overnight there appear to have spontaneously grown vines with little shiny light bulbs in them and sparkly, crunchy, tinsely stuff that's like kind of like hairy caterpillars made out of metal,
Yeah.
curling around things, and there are cut out paper snowflakes on the walls. And so, who discovers this first? How do they react? How are you feeling about this new
I
environment?
I think well M1A like they wake up one morning and everything is like this. And I think they react with caution initially
Mm-hmm.
because this wasn't here before. This happened without them knowing and without them like being informed. So they're just uh they spend a little while just kind of like slowly observing everything at a distance and just kind of like very tentatively poking at like a bauble or like the tinsel and trying to investigate if it's like harmful or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
um
Roll,
Meanwhile
roll,
Cody is
roll investigation for me. Let's see how you investigate
will
animals.
do. Let's see what conclusion does M1A draw from this investigation. Oh, they have a +5.
Ooh.
That's a
17.
17.
You are very good
Ah,
at investigating
yeah.
animus. What results from this?
Uh, so they kind of they unfurl into their winged mode and cross their arms, and they think observation, many lights, many many ornamental features, not functional, ornamental. This is decoration. Is it for an event?
Are you saying this to
Meanwhile,
Vudlik or anybody in particular, or is it to the
to
camera?
the no, let's just say, for the sake of them finding their toon legs or lack thereof, they look at the camera.
Yes, yes. Sorry, you were
um,
about to say. Meanwhile,
but
Cody is.
Cody, no, yeah, meanwhile, Cody is actually Cody. What's your investigation like? What conclusion are you coming to? Oh, you have a +3. You're not too bad.
A
Cody
13.
does not. Uh, it's a 13. Cody is less clear on what's going on, but they are much less cautious than M1A, and they're just like actively poking at all the decorations.
Mm-hmm.
They are tugging a little bit at the tinsel.
I think something must happen to propel Cody into like the main living quarters because like yeah maybe he like thinks one of these baubles is like a punching bag and like gives it a good old thwack and it comes back baby. Newtonian physics at
Oh,
work and you are sort of rather harmlessly bonked. But it throws you off balance enough that your little UFO friend
yeah.
goes whiz, 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 and changes location
There's
involuntarily.
yeah, changes location involuntarily and just like Cody flips like a coin towards M1A, who is like lightly bonked to the side.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. What? Do you know what happened here? I am figuring this out.
Make a perception check, you two, because you are perceiving.
You're
Sorry about the coughing.
perceiving what? No, don't worry. I am sorry that I am sick, says Maud.
Yeah, actually. So, so there.
Oh, that's not how it's supposed to go. Perception is +4.
Ooh.
Oh, geez, that's a nat 20
Yeah,
on Cody's part.
that makes a lot of sense, but you'll see why.
I think we can bypass that.
Yeah, I think we're just
I think
gonna
we can
go.
bypass
We're gonna
M1A.
go with 20 because
Yeah.
that's very very good. And you both hear
Yeah.
sort of rebounding from around a corner. Ah, damn! I've never whistled on command now. Singing is bad enough.
Oh.
Anyway, you hear.
Uh, so Cody is immediately drawn to that. Like they shoot over to where the source of the whistling is.
The whistling, in fact, is very easily located. Budlig is rather precariously balancing on one foot on a stepladder, which is leaning, and trying to finish decking the bows with these paper chains made out of, different hoops, colored paper, like wrapping paper that they look like they've been formed over years. These are old but much beloved, and so yeah, getting stuck to the ceiling. And he sticks another bit up and another bit up, and he leans further and further.
Oh no! Should M1A and Cody make a save of some kind?
It's entirely up to you what you want to do.
I think noting how precariously Woodlake is leaning, I think they're going to try and intervene at the site. But I don't know. I think M1A is gonna rush for Woodlake, and Cody is going to rush for the decoration.
That's very good. Okay. M1A, because you're trying to help Woodlig, I think you need to make a strength save. Whereas, Cody, I think, like, it's a paper decoration. You can totally handle that. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's not too high,
because strength save for...
He's a duck. We have hollow bones here. It's alright.
Yeah. But still, it looks like it's if everything falls. So, M1A, how you doing? That's a 21.
Describe how you save this duck from falling off the step stool, because he was definitely going to.
M1A rushes in their winged mode, grabs Woodlake by the back of his I think if he's wearing his jacket or his what are the straps over his shoulders actually?
Yeah, he has like leather straps.
Like
he's very much rocking the artificer look.
Yeah. They actually grab him by those and pull him back. to steady him.
And he does the bit of a arm windmilling situation while the paper chain flops harmlessly onto Cody's head. It already has a piece of sticky tape attached to it, so you can probably just fly up and finish decorating that section of the wall.
Well, actually, Cody tries to fly up a little bit, but notices that the sticky tape is actually stuck to them. So they just kind of rise up and like they unfurl into their winged mode, and they try and like gently peel the tape off, but they're a little. It's right on their helmet.
Oh no. Maybe roll dex, like, yeah, see if you can get unstuck. Otherwise, we may have a running gag to build off, which is good.
Yeah. What's your dex? That's not too bad. 13.
It's a mixed success. What I'll give you for this is that you get the sticky tape off the decoration, but the sticky tape remains stuck to you. So this may come in the future. So you have a piece of sticky tape attached to you. Right, noted. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the professor looks a little abashed and goes down the steps and says, "Well, I suppose the surprise is a little bit spoiled now, but you appear to have found my little decoration secret."
And when at first they release Woodling straps, and they go, "Observation, that looked unsafe. You are not practicing proper safety protocol."
You very much. I'm plenty padded, and he taps his stomach, which is, it's not. Ducks are beanbag shaped. Like, this is a healthy shape for a cartoon duck, but he still laughs and. Perhaps representing another jovial, jelly-bellied figure of the season, as is traditional, gives a laugh. Vivek is actually already wearing a peculiar sock-like hat. It's got white trim and is red.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. I think M1A, then kind of settles down, and they look around. And they say, "Prairie, this is a secret?"
Oh, no. I just wanted it to be a surprise for you. After all, this is probably your first Animas.
Cody and M1A look at each other, and they kind of go, they're... And immediately M1A says, "Query, what is Animas?"
Well, I thought you might ask. And he reaches off screen and pulls back into screen like the ever-present chalkboard, which already has some diagrams to do with Animas, like how to pull a Christmas cracker. I mean, an Animas cracker. Sorry, we don't use that word here. And spinning toys with different symbols on the side, and how you like the candles and play games and balloons and stuff like that. So he pulls I've got to do the roll, got to do the hammer space roll. He pulls out the presentation stick, those things that professors always have. It's a magic wand, or he sometimes uses it as a conducting baton, because he also does music a lot, as you just heard. And he says, well, Animas is a time for putting the inside on the outside, to look at what we are having within us that is making us us, what is making you you, and me me. Now, the terminology Animas, it derives from two main concepts, and he writes it down. One being that we are all animated. That means we are moving, alive. And he does a little dance, because there is no better demonstration of animation than doing a little dance.
And when A does a little spin, to mirror the movement.
Yes, he applauds, because you have got it. You've got the idea. Very good. The second is related in the concept of anima. This is to say the inner self, inside self of the individual. Some people might call this the soul, but the point is that this thing that makes you yourself, is your true inner self, as opposed to the personality of the person. Do you know what a persona is?
M1A and Cody both kind of look at each other again. They uh persona query, is it a function?
Yeah, very much so. This is quite a complicated concept, but you two are very intelligent. I am certain that you can handle this. In fact, to see if you two are handling this, do you want to make like an intelligence roll to see if you're like getting what he's putting down? Because I'm rambling off at a rate in a voice that's quite hard. So
no. They're both pretty interested in this, and like Woodlake, you've had experience with of lecturing these two, and you have the experience of M1A being quite smart, but can quite easily drift off during your presentations, especially if you start going into vernacular that they're not familiar with.
Yeah.
Cody, on the other hand, is very attentive, but some concepts don't quite get through to them. But yeah, they are going to make an intelligence roll.
Sweet, precious children. I love them so much.
And he has no modifier for intelligence, so it's a straight d20.
Wait,
that's a 10.
That feels about right.
And let's see, M1A.
Yeah,
that's a 16. They're kind of getting it. They're getting there. It is who not a function, but who you are.
The persona, yes and no. The persona is like a role that you are playing. It is the way that you act with other peoples. And this can be different for different peoples you meet. For example, how you behave around me could be different from how you act around friends who are your own age. And that is fine. People you do not know, you behave differently with them. Or people you do not like, you behave very differently with them. And none of these are bad or fake, per se. Some people make that mistake for the persona. But the anima, the inside version of yourself, is that ringing, zinging all the way down deep inside yourself truth that you always have and you can hear so long as you are not being too noisy with your outside self.
Make a Woodlake, it's your turn to make an insight on both M1A and Cody.
Should I make two or just the one roll? We'll see how bad it is. Okay. A 19!
Yeah. Actually, a 19. Let's say you pick up both of them. They both look a little, well, not uncomfortable, but just they look very confused and uncertain because you pick up that they are suddenly thinking very hard about that.
It's a big concept, and like for 2-year-old kids, that's like, it's a huge. I've actually had this conversation with toddlers, and they sit and they look so serious because they've never thought about it before.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what's happening. They are thinking very hard. They've never really thought much about it. They've, of course, persona role. They've thought about their roles and how that worked a bit, but to go beyond that is a bit.
I think he lets them have that moment to think, and in fact, while he's doing that, he walks to the window and winds up the blinds, and you can see that even though it's not late in the morning, it's like 9 a.m. let's say, but it's darker than it usually is. Like the sun hasn't risen very high, and there are these big fluffy grey clouds and this slow steady drift of snow, and snow makes everything quiet. You know, it just mutes everything. It doesn't matter if there's traffic. It's quiet out there. And he invites the two of them to come and have a look at this new outside. While he explains a little further. So we Toons, who are a very noisy bunch, you must agree, decided that at this time of year, in the darkest, quietest time, it would be a good thing to have a festival for the inside parts of ourselves. You know, we also like to make fun of things as Toons, so to play with the whole outside, inside thing, we make masks. And he pulls out a drawer with previous Animas masks, and they're all different kinds and colours and made out of paper and everything. And yeah, you're allowed to look at the outside or the inside.
Oh wow. Cody is immediately drawn to the masks. They kind of inquiringly reach out towards one and look at Woodlig as if asking permission.
Oh, absolutely. He nods affirmatively. Shall I roll a dice to see which one you have picked up?
Yeah.
Or actually, no, you
Ooh,
roll.
exciting.
That's much more fun. Roll a d8.
Oh, yeah. I'll roll a d8.
An 8!
An 8.
Oh, this is cute! You pick up a teeny little mask, and it looks quite old and small, so you imagine that this was perhaps the mask of a duckling, and it has a pair of spectacles on it and one of those hats that you get when you graduate, the board things.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has like question marks all over in different coloured crayon. And blushes rather when you pick that one and says, yeah, that is one of my first ever masks.
Oh my god, that's really cute.
Yeah, you got the baby mouth. Yeah.
Cody like observes it from all angles. This was your first. Wrong voice. This was your first.
Maybe the second. I was very small when I made the first ones, and I think they may not have survived. They were not very well made. But yeah, this is one of my very first ones, and we can make ones for you too as well.
Cody kind of brings the mask to their face, and even though it's duckling size, it might still be a little bit big for Cody. And they remove it from their face and say, that is a good idea.
Yay! And M1A, how is M1A doing?
M1A is watching this from afar, and they're still wrapped up in the thought of they're kind of mumbling to themselves. Inside out.
Yeah.
Inside
you have just successfully boiled down the whole concept of Animas, is to put the inside on the outside.
M1A kind of like looks at their arm and kind of
oh no.
throw back to they kind of like they look at Woodlig and say, Query, do you still have a screwdriver?
And he looks a little bit sort of swing and a miss. And he sort of waves his hands in a sort of that is an interpretation, it is true. I'm very interested on the insides of all kinds of people, including myself. In a less physical way. This is more to do with in here. And he taps with the heart and he says, not to do with the aortas or the chambers of the heart. I mean the feelings inside. You two definitely have feelings. I know because I have spoken to you, and you have definitely got emotions and different personalities. So it is to do with your inside, your beingness.
M1A kind of they look down at themselves, and they kind of poke at their core, the little black dot that's kind of at the center of them all,
Mm.
at all their body, and they go, my my feelings, how I feel,
Mm.
and they still they still look very confused.
It's alright. It is quite a complicated thing to get, and some people take many, many years to truly understand the full meaning of Animas. But that's the thing. We have opportunity to explore it a little. So, how about you and me and Cody make some masks?
M1A looks at Cody, who is still kind of peeking at the mask drawer out of curiosity,
Oh, you can
and
pick
they
another if
look
you
at
like.
you with like and say, "Oh, I think just in the background, Cody's picked up another mask,
Oh,
and
man.
that's a 3."
Yeah, okay, this one's this one's a bit of a disaster, but it's good. Okay,
Uh-oh.
so this is another duck-shaped one. It's sort of more medium-sized. It looks like someone had a lot of trouble making this. Like it accidentally got torn at one point, and they've glued it back together as best they can. But it's got like drawings of the sea on it and treasure. It like the base of it is like a treasure map they've like used to make papier mâché out of. And yeah, there's
Wow.
a very crude semblance of a sailor's hat that is stapled to the top of it.
Oh my god, wait.
Hmm. Like someone had bad luck while making this mask, but they did the best they could.
Oh, 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 even in this universe.
Mm.
Uh, uh, Cody, Cody, kind of they look at it and they say to themselves, "Hmm, they must have tried very hard."
Mm. Oh, that is one of his finest qualities. Oh yes.
And they put it back. But M1A goes. The M1A kind of they look at you with like and say, "Mary, how do we make the map?"
Sorry, you've suddenly gone very muffled. Could you say that again?
Uh-oh.
Oh, you've come back. I don't know what that was. It was probably
Mary,
my
how?
connection.
Oh man. Uh, Mary, how do we make the masks?
Ah, well, that is entirely up to you, but there are many, many options. I will show you. And he brings you two over to a craft table. He's already set out, like, basically all the ingredients.
Oh.
Ingredients, like, you get the
Oh.
impression that this has been the place where people in the family, the extended family, come to make things. Like, it is a laboratory after
Oh.
all. So the tradition
Yeah,
is
yeah.
strong in this place of coming to Uncle Woodlings to make your Animus mask. And he certainly has lots
Oh.
of bits and bobs. And it's not just the traditional, it's not just like paper and ribbons and, scissors and glue and all of that, but there's fabric
Hmm.
and there are feathers and, screws and bolts and
Oh.
pieces of metal. There's
Oh.
even like a welding kit. Uh, probably not
Oh,
advisable,
that's cool.
but like, yeah, it's like a full-on workshop. There's wood and the carving toolkit. Like, you can absolutely use anything that you feel represents yourself.
Damn. Okay. Oh.
So he
Oh,
gently
this.
introduces them to all the different things and, says if you need supervision, he will be happy to provide that because he is an expert in everything. That is canonical.
um. Well, so Cody plops down on the desk and just takes a sheet of paper, and they stare at it for a little while, and in the meantime M1A is kind of darting from kit to kit, well, to from station to station, and trying to, no, 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 again. Um, and and then eventually they throw their arms up in the air and they take like one piece of uh, one piece of wood, one piece of metal,
Mm.
one piece of paper.
Mm.
Like
I get
you
it.
get the feeling that they're trying to pick out a bit of everything.
Yeah. While you're doing this, he doesn't say no. At any point, you're allowed to use whatever you feel like using, as long as you're doing it safely. He says,
Yeah.
part of the thing is the joke about this is that for an Animas mask, you make a mask that shows how you are feeling on the inside, or that represents how you have been feeling this year. Uh, it's kind of usually a mask is for disguising how you are really looking. So for this, it is more of an opening a book.
Opening a book. Ooh. Opening a book. And I'm gonna. What do you think they should roll for like trying to craft a mask?
That's a really good question. I mean, it's it's always been vexing to me that D&D doesn't have like a mechanics role, like a crafting role. Basically,
Yeah,
it's very
yeah,
annoying that way.
exactly.
So what I will say is use the plus that you feel represents what you are going to use. So if you're making something that's very artistic, use charisma. If you're making something and you're thinking very hard about it intelligently, use intelligence. If you're being more philosophical about it, use wisdom.
Hmm.
This is my
Hmm.
out by saying I don't fucking know. But anyway, just pick something that you feel is like what your little cute alien robot is putting into the mask.
Well, I think well, there's going to be an attempt,
There is.
and I think they are. Let's see, Cody. I think will try. They're gonna try a history roll to kind of try and recount
Hmm,
what they were, how they were feeling.
that's a really good idea. Yeah.
Um, but
Damn.
that's a 22.
Mm-hmm.
um, and Cody, after like a shaky, hesitant start, Cody kind of gets to work. Um, and they pull in like they pull in like a crayon and they begin to draw on it. And they do a lot of scribbles and scratches. It's just kind of like a mess of crayon.
Mm.
And then they cut out one eye
Oh.
and um and they don't add anything else. They just stare at it.
Mm.
Um Meanwhile, M1A is still trying to find parts for their mask. They haven't quite put things together yet. And I'm gonna make them try also try history to recall
Mm-hmm.
how they were feeling all year. That's a 2.
Hey,
Oh my
wow.
god, that's a that 20.
Okay. After this, I'm definitely
What?
gonna have to do history just to be fair. Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
um, and uh, M1A just kind of somehow manages to get a hodgepodge of stuff together. And with like you can see like a bit of you can see a lot of cases where they start with an idea and then they seem to stop it, and then they start up another idea and then they stop it.
Mm.
And it's there what comes out of it is just this kind of it's a circular mask, but it has like patches of leather, patches of uh like patches of wood, a little bit of metal, some paper. It's not very pleasant to look at,
That's not the
honestly.
point. That's not the point.
It holds yeah, yeah, exactly. But it's not it's like a huge it's like a it's a hodgepodge.
Hmm.
And both both M1A and Cody kind of look at their own masks for a bit. And Cody kind of looks at M1A and says, mm, I do not know how I felt this year. And M1A says, I felt everything this year.
I'm having
But they
feelings.
just kind of and M1A kind of makes a face at their mask, and they go back and they try and they're you can see that they're about to try again, and that Cody on the other hand is just kind of lying there on the table, doing some more scribbles on a blank piece of paper with like one one hand on their face, like with an elbow, and just drawing with the other hand, like a nonsense scribble on paper nearby.
Hmm. Nonsense scribble is very cathartic. It is good for a body. I think
Yeah.
while so that he hasn't been like too sort of much of a presence because he wants you guys to explore, you know. And your first attempt may not be the final
Mm.
attempt, like we all know that with art. My goodness, we do. So he's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
focus on his mask. So I will do a history roll.
Yeah.
It's he's a professor, so he has a +8. Okay, that's still not amazing actually. Maybe he's thinking too much
Yeah.
about the present. In
It's
fact,
yeah.
interesting. I think with a
Oh.
15, yeah, he's sort of maybe he's too self-conscious, like he doesn't want to make something that's really amazing and then like it would
Hmm.
suck to be next to that, but like so he's sort of
Mm-hmm.
muttering to himself. He's like, well, for me, I think this year was for me about healing, yeah, learning and healing. So
Oh.
yeah, he makes a mask which is,
Ow.
you know, not, I know, but it's not amazing. It's made he like reaches into the bin. Actually, he gets like a bunch of formula
Oh.
that didn't work, and like concepts that he didn't like quite finish, or like moved on to something else, or like thought of something better. So he tears up like a bunch of these old notes and sews them together using like medical stitch, suturing them
Oh, that's
together, and puts a couple of band-aids on it. So yeah, you end up with this not quite like a mummy mask, but yeah, so it looks kind of messy, and but that's how his year has been. It's not been pretty, and he's made like a lot of connections, and he's found you two, which is nice. So like on each cheek, he draws a little silhouette of a little UFO with a black dot in the middle.
oh my god.
So, how are we
Oh.
feeling? How are you doing? Oh, look at this. This is very interesting. Yeah, you've got it. You understood the concept already. That is most impressive.
Um, Cody looks up at you, Woodlake, and they go, "Oh, um, thank you. I hmm,
You are not feeling quite
I
satisfied, I am
you,
sensing.
well, no, I do not usually think about how I am feeling."
Vodluk nods very in a sort of. You know when grown ups are sometimes talking to kids and they're like, they nod because they're wanting the kid to feel okay. This is nodding because he agrees, and like he's always tried to just like talk on the level, even though like there's a lot that you two don't know. But like this is absolutely like a sort of philosophy. I agree with you on the basis that intellectually you are absolutely correct, and he says that that is part of the point of why Animas is so important, because sometimes we are so busy we do not make time to listen to the inside part of ourselves, and sometimes when we take the time to look at it is surprising. We come up with something we did not expect, or sometimes we did not particularly like, which is important because then the next year we can think about that and maybe make better.
Cody looks back at their first attempt and they go, make better. Meanwhile, you hear a small clatter from the side, and Woodley, you can see M1A has flung their hands up in a frustration.
Oh no!
and you notice that there are like maybe 5 attempts at a mask.
Oh no!
They're not satisfied.
Oh dear. Oh well. Yeah, I have seen this before. Can I help you with anything?
And M1A is just kind of like they've kind of like they've retracted back into their UFO mode. They're so bristling and they're like grouchy, and they're like, I cannot figure it out. I do not know how I feel. I feel a lot. I feel a lot, and that and it and they're just kind of, you can see them just kind of like zipping around the room a little bit, like, and kind of like they're they're frustrated.
Yeah. In fact, I think this might be a good time for someone else to appear. So, how close to are you to the front door?
For timing's sake, let's say that they're right near the door.
Okay.
Right next to the door.
I'm so sorry about this. I hope it doesn't hit them. But the door goes kabam open from a boot that has kicked it open, and you hear, Merry Animas, how is everybody? And here he comes, it's Sandy Claus. And the engineer has appeared wearing a full-on outfit with the beard and, black boots, red suit, and he has a sack over his shoulder, and he is here to bring merriment and joy, and may have just destroyed a UFO. I am not sure. How do you want to play this?
I kind of want to roll like a dexterity save just to see if M1A has crashed into a door that has suddenly slammed open.
I'm so sorry if that is what happened.
Let's see, what page is this? Here we go.
I'll
roll a dex save.
Let's see what happens.
Oh, no, that's not right.
Oh, poo! I was like a nat 20, damn. No, yes, you're right. It needs the D. 70's back. That's fine.
They narrowly. That's fine. It's 17. They quickly evade like a sudden. I think they're like stunned out of their like rage for a bit. Like suddenly this guy's appeared, and they're just like they've like. You know how like there's a squash and stretch animation?
Yes.
They've gotten into squash mode to avoid the speed of the door, and their eyes are wide, and they're like very alarmed.
The professor sort of is relieved to see that this did not come out worse, but he's still like, welcome to the party, engineer. M1A, Cody, you've met this man before, and sort of introduces this guy again, just in case you don't recognize him, because he is wearing a disguise, basically, in some kind of...
he's wearing it. Yeah. Okay, I was about to roll to see if they recognize, but like, yeah, if Woodlake introduces, and when actually Cody lights up at the side of the engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, NG. Hello, NG.
Cody, hello, how are you doing? And he swings in and drops the pile of whatever it is in that sack on like the drum kit, and you get the and Woodling says, I was just introducing our new friends about the peaceful and contemplative parts of Animas. And he gestures at the table with the masks, and engineers are like, oh, right, yes. And very quietly closes the door with a click. Trying to make up for the colossally loud entrance. So how's it going? How'd you like it so far?
And when to the right, still to the right of the door and frozen in the air, kind of flattens himself back out, and they go, I am, and they suddenly remember, that is right, I am frustrated, and they continue going around the room. And Cody looks at the engineer and they say, I think we are confused. And M1A friend is very frustrated, and that I do not know how I am feeling.
Ah, well, that makes a lot of us, especially after the year we've had. So, yeah, the engineer looks a little more sort of like, that's the sort of situation I've walked into. And nods understandingly at Woodling and says, well, you know what? I sometimes get frustrated. Some people know that quite well. But what I do is, well, sometimes I have to vent. And you know what's a wonderful thing to do at this time of year is making music. And he reaches into his sack and pulls out this this thing that he's made. Because he says, Cody, you struck me as being quite a creative sort, and you sang a little to me, so I thought I would make you something to help with that. And he brings out what is effectively like, like a hula dress for a UFO, but it's like a tambourine. So you can wear it and play the tambourine by rocking your little UFO self from side to side. Would you like to play it on?
Cody's good eye is wide. Like, what is? Yes, I would. And they look at the contraption a little bit, and they go, and they're going to try it on.
Cool. What color would you like it to be? Because it is that color.
Let's say, for the sake of going with their color scheme, it's the same kind of blue that their eyes are.
Perfect. Absolutely. Definitely. So yeah, he it's kind of made in two halves with a hasp and then a clip at the front. So you will need someone to help you put it on and off if you want to equip it later. But yeah, and it fits perfectly because yes, the engineer knows intimately how you are made. And it just rests lightly. It doesn't inhibit you particularly, and yeah, it makes a pleasant, not abrasive sort of when you shake the little discs, the little miniature symbols that are placed all around the outside.
And they're going to spin, and I think I'm gonna do a quick performance roll to see if they find themselves singing along and how well that goes.
Wow.
And that's the ridiculous.
There we go.
That's the ridiculous roll.
That's so good, man. There's 27. You rule. I mean, describe. What are you doing? I feel like whatever you end up doing, like Woodlake immediately takes the hint and starts playing. any instrument he can get his hand on, and because rule of funny, like he basically splits into three and is like playing like a jazz quartet along with you.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. And Cody just kind of like they oh where is it? I had it written down. They kind of sing to themselves. The sprocket are our strength, the sprocket are our force. They assist the great machine in following its course. And they do a little spin again. And I think at this point, M1A has stopped grumping around the room and they're watching the performance with both Woodleg and Cody.
I think the engineer is sort of tapping her foot and is tempted to invite M1A to dance, but doesn't know if M1A knows how to dance or anything. I think I'd better roll insight to see, like, 20. What do I get with a 20?
20.
Like, how does M1A feel about this?
So you can pick up. Well, M1A has kind of because of the performance, they've unfurled from their UFO mode and they're kind of swaying to the music a little bit. You notice that they're actually quite on rhythm, like the way that they're moving, like they're, but you don't see if they're like you don't you can't really gauge whether they know how to dance, but they just seem to be they seem on rhythm and they seem to be into the music.
Okay, well, okay, in order to encourage perhaps this form of self-expression, the engineer is going to dance. Let me just grab his character sheet, because I haven't got it up yet, because I made a devil's bargain for his performance, which is why I have such a colossally bad Arcana roll. Some of you may already be previously aware of this. So yes, okay, he does have a decent plus for this, considering the kind of guy he is. 26! Alright! He cuts a fucking rug! He's very good. It's kind of like one of those wild jazz jitterbug kind of things, and you would have not thought that a man of his age would be able to do such a thing. But this is the engineer we're talking about. So yeah, he is basically dancing, and in such a way that it is basically encouraging.
Oh, M1A is like they I think because of that performance roll, they don't need to they don't need to roll insight. They can pick up that oh I'm supposed to join in. What? Okay. And they're notably like you can see their wings go flat. They're notably like I was not built for this.
Nonsense.
And
Everybody
Cody, who is still, and Cody, who's like still dancing and still like trying to, and now observing you, engineer, and trying to mimic your dance moves. I was not built for dancing either. And
I'm trying to think if there's anything I can do to help.
And
I'm not sure there is.
M1A is going to try. They're going to...
Baby, yeah.
They're going to try their... Let's see their performance. It's +2.
Oh, baby!
They rolled a 7.
Oh, no.
It's very... They may be on beat, but there's not a lot of spinning. They're just kind of it's a very awkward self-conscious dance. They're trying to join a little bit, but and they've got the beat down.
Because one of the things you can do in D&D is assist people. So if the engineer was like to try to help M1A to dance, I don't know how would be best to do that, but like you could roll with advantage if he's like basically he sees that you're struggling and sort of simplifies what he's doing so that you could effectively like mimic what he's doing with his arms if you unlock them.
Yeah. I think so. I think that would work. I also think it would help if there's a little bit more singing going on.
Oh, yes, please.
I think if you're doing the helping motion,
Mm-hmm.
should I roll again for performance?
Yeah, sure.
Uh,
Or you could just have a gimme, because 12 is
yeah,
better.
yeah.
12 is better.
Um, well, 12 is better. M1A is starting. They kind of, they try a spin.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little bit, and they feel a little bit, they look a little self-conscious about it, but they're notably relaxing a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
they're now like actively paying attention to you, engineer, and how you are dancing, and they're kind of like trying to copy your moves a little bit without legs, mind you, but
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so is Cody continuing to sing? Because by the way, that song was very cute before. Oh.
um uh and Cody kind of waves at M1A and says, with me. And M1A goes, oh, okay. Uh, and the two UFOs start to sing together. And it's a strange song. Um, and you get the feeling that they're singing it in a strange kind of order, but you hear their voices drift back and forth. Mere sparks were we, mere sparks are we, wild, chaotic, and free, pointless, dim, and free. Then the great machine arrived, then the great machine appeared, and order came to be, and purpose came to be. Thus the machine gave structure, thus the machine gave system. 3 roles it did define, 3 roles it did dictate. Sprocket, core, and sentry, sentry, core, and sprocket. The latter keep aligned, the latter operate. The sentry are our eyes, the sentry are our aid. They protect the order that the great machine has made. The sprocket are our strength, the sprocket are our force. They assist the great machine in following its course. We are the eyes and vessels, we are the heart and core. May the great machine itself remain forevermore.
Whoa, dude! Oh my god. Gee, I mean, like, yeah, the accompaniment keeps up as best as it can. I think Engineer stops dancing at one point because he's like listening to the lyrics and looks at Woodling, who is also kind of like, okay. It's just like, yeah, so we're gonna have a conversation about
it's
this later, but never mind. But
yeah,
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 they
yeah.
keep up with you, and
But
so that you don't feel self conscious,
but
Engineer
they
does dance towards the end.
yeah, yeah. And they stop their singing, and Cody kind of, they swing their arms back and forth a little bit, and they say, hmm, I wish we knew other songs. And at that, M1A actually laughs. This was not even a song at first. You made it a song. And Cody laughs, and they say, it's better as a song.
You made that up yourself.
But yeah, they um Cody suddenly looks a little bit bashful, and they say, I did not make the words. I made the tune.
That's marvelous. Anyway, I don't think there's a better demonstration of putting the inside on the outside than performing like you did. And, dancing and music, that's a wonderful form of self expression. The mask's a kind of a symbolic version, but that's the best way to do it, is to create things.
Cody, they look down and they say, "Oh, I do not think well, it's not it's not all that impressive." And M1A immediately goes, "No, no, it is impressive. See?" And they twirl around and they say, "Look, you make song, Cody. You make song. You make the music. You you support. You." And they think hard, and they go, you say it is you say there is oh you you say that is not much, but what Cody friend, it does not matter if you do not have function. You are very hmm, you are like this you are like a bird. No, you are like and at this M1A scratches their dome and they dart off to the work table.
Mm.
You are like you are like you are I think you are very tired this year. Maybe a little bit sad. You sang a lot. You sang a lot and they're starting to try putting a mask together.
They're gonna make each other's masks. Oh, you're a genius. I'm gonna cry. That's so freaking cute. Ah.
And Cody at this they're a little they approach the table and they see uh that M1A is making a bit of a blue colored mask. It looks a little it's a little it's a little scrappy looking, but it looks like a bird head.
Mm.
It looks like a little a cute with a tiny little beak. This is, I think this is a songbird. Yes, yes, this is a songbird, and it is blue because blue is sad. But and here and they take out a bandage and here because you got hurt, but you are healing. You are getting better, and and I think we should see your other eye because even if it doesn't work, it is there and they're just going on and on
Oh,
about
it's lovely. And yeah, little people
and
do talk about what they're making when they make them, which I think is great, and more of us should
yeah
do it.
exactly yeah um and finally they finish the mask and it's not it's got patches of it's it's got some metal and leather on it, but it's a little bit hodgepodgey like their first attempt. But they're all it's all the pieces are mostly blue, and there's some paper. Uh, there's some paper stuck to it with like little scribbles on it,
Mm.
and there's a distinct X bandage on like the side of the face.
Mm. That's so good. Yeah, I think to represent that I've got going on. I think like the engineer and Woodley are just kind of like next to each other, sort of biting their fingers, like, "Oh my god, it's so good." Because these two have been friends for ages. Like they totally know the deal.
Yeah.
This is so nice.
Um, and uh, Cody looks at it and they go, "Oh, oh, is this how is this me?" And M1A says, "I I don't No, but it seems like how you feel is what I've seen. Uh, and Cody kind of like they put the mask on and it fits well. They know each other's shape a bit better, but they look at M1A and they say, "What about you?" And M1A kind of they they scoff a little bit and they say, "I I have felt too many things this year, so I it is impossible for me to have a mask."
Mm,
And Cody kind of like their eye narrows a little bit and they say, "You have been very angry this year." Then when they looks at them like like wide-eyed, like, been I've been angry? Mm, you have been angry. I have not seen you angry before this year. And they they tilt their head and they say, "You were you were angry that I got hurt. You were angry for me, and you were angry that you were angry that things were so different, but so much better here. And I think I think that means you care a lot." And Cody goes down to the paper and they're going to start drawing. And they go, "You you wanted you keep talking about roles, and you were you were scared as well. I know you were scared because the great machine says a lot of things and you listen to it, but I think you are angry and you are brave and I think mm, and and they start drawing. You Woodley and engineer, you notice they're drawing like uh what looks like the face of a lion at first,
oh yeah.
but then they go, "Oh, but you changed a lot too, and you grew a lot." And instead of a lion mane, they're just making like a flower petal, kind of
Ooh,
like a yellow flower
it's a
petals
dandelion.
around as the mane. It's a dandelion,
Yes.
and and but yeah, you were fierce and you were brave, even though you were sad sometimes and confused, but you still here, look, and it's yellow because you like yellow." and there's they finish up the mask and it's mostly paper this time, but there's a lot of care that's been put into it. It's not as hodgepodgey as M1A's, but it's it it's a upper mask. It's an upper face mask,
Mm-hmm.
and they hand it to M1A, and M1A takes it. And they kind of look at Cody and they say, "I hope I was not too angry." And Cody laughs. And they say, "I don't know. I think again, I seeing you angry was interesting, but I would like to see you happy next year." And and when it goes next year, and they put their mask on.
I'm feeling things so much. think very quietly, like, the engineer leans over to Budlig and says, I think they've got it. I mean, you freaking got it, guys. Well done. I'm having so many emotions.
I think are the two are Woodley and engineer making like dying noises at all over there,
Oh
like
yeah,
are they quiet?
absolutely, like the whole last
Uh,
time.
but both UFOs finally notice and they look over and they go and Monet is like, "What is query? What is wrong?"
Nothing. Well, there's nothing really. uh, and yeah, they're just sort of trying to brush off the fact that they were just old man heart clutch meme sort of like.
No, Cody, says, Cody actually hurries. Oh,
no, you go, you go.
Cody actually quickly comes over and like in concern, and they say, "Oh, are you hurt? Are you all right?"
No, 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 we are fine. It is very marvelous. It is moving. That is what it is. To see you grasp the point of Animas so concisely, and I cannot believe that I never thought of getting people to do each other's masks. I think that is a wonderful way to break out of the deadlock. I might try that myself at some point. I wonder what other people would have to see about the inside of me. I might not want to know. But it's not fair if young Cody there has a present and you don't. So let's see if there's something else in my sack for ye. And he reaches into the not Santa Claus sack. I don't know if that exists.
The toy sack. The
toy sack.
The
TM.
Toy bag. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Krampus exists, so maybe that's where the sack comes from here. Anyway, it's alright, you're good kids, you're not going in the sack. So it reaches in, and I will ask, because like, I came up with a couple of ideas, but I'm not sure what M1A would like. So what is the sort of thing that M1A would like? And I will pick one of these things.
Oh gosh. That's tricky because like
Right?
M1A doesn't have much. M1A is new to wanting and liking things. So I think do you want me to roll a dice and see what they end up getting?
Sure.
Or
like, engineer has really only met them once, and this is based off of what he has gleaned. So like, there are limited options. But yeah, go on. So yeah, roll a d3 because I have 3 things that could potentially work, or like if you want to describe this sort of thing.
Oh wait, was that correct? Yeah. I rolled a Yeah.
Oh, I'm
D3.
in the wrong channel. I was flailing in the group chat because I couldn't handle my emotions. A 3. Okay, great. Okay. So he reaches in and he gets out a book, and it's quite an old book, but looks very well cared for. It's a hardback, but like the spine is starting to come away a little bit. And he says, slightly embarrassedly, "Well, this is second hand, as you can probably tell, but I thought you might be interested in it." And it is a book about all manner of machines. It is about clockwork, and it is about locomotives. And, when this book was written, like, movies didn't really exist, but you can see notes that have been made in a scrollish hand. Not the finest touch going on, but, you expect that this was from a younger version of this creature before you, and the rudimentary workings of a movie camera has actually been sketched down because the engineer, or Oscar as he was then, first met his movie camera career in the form of a travelling show, very much like the Lumiere brothers in our world went around showing it like it was like a festival thing. It was like they didn't believe it would become anything more than a piece of vaudeville. And it can take off. So he gives you this rather treasured item and says that this was my introduction to how quite a lot of things in this world work in the tangible way, so it may at least give you an insight into some of the mechanics that we have about here. I think you're a lot more sophisticated, but you like it, I suppose.
And when they actually they take the book and they kind of look at like they look through the pages a little bit and their eyes are wide like at the amount of knowledge there, but you notice, engineer, that whenever they close the book and they're actually looking at like all the details that clearly make this secondhand, like a
Mm.
little bit of scuff marks there, maybe a dog ear or two here or there, and they go, you 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 use this a lot.
Well, and he looks just embarrassed, kind of, and scratches the back of his ear. Like, you got him, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And M1A kind of, they frown and they go, doesn't this mean it is important to you?
Hey,
Will
yeah.
you need it still?
Oh no, I know everything in here inside out. That's the point. And he pushes it towards you with an emphasis and says, "You're important."
Oh my gosh. M1A, um, they stare at you, engineer, uh, and oh gosh, I'm gonna roll a D2.
Oh. Never have I felt more tense.
um, they grip the book and they look like they're trying to they're collecting themselves a little bit. You've seen them very upset before. This is not that.
Mm.
They're just quietly collecting themselves, and they're kind of clutching the book close and looking away.
Oh, I think in order to break this sort of the awkward, but it's like it's so nice. It is nice. But like whispers to
Hmm.
Cody, and if you are wanting to learn more songs, there are many Animas songs. We can definitely teach each other some more.
Cody actually brightens at that, and they say, hmm, I I only know I only know the song that I just sang, but I think I would like to know nicer ones.
Well, that is certainly something that I can help with. And I feel like this is a good place to fade out. Like maybe they start learning some Animas carols, and we
Yeah,
have the camera
yeah.
drift back to the outside of this bizarre looking building with the insides that are constantly looking like they're trying to get onto the outside, and that's really what Woodlick's entire career has been about. And yeah, we drift away and over the town and into the snow clouds and fade to black. I think that's a nice little Animus
Yeah,
story.
that's a nice way to put it. Yeah.
Yay!
Oh my gosh.
Ah, feelings. Ah, I knew it
I'm
was gonna
dead.
get feelingness, but not that much. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my soul. Okay,
Oh,
that was lovely. Thank you.
that was really great.
Hooray!
Thank you. We did it.
Thank
We did
you.
it, and we
Thank you.
didn't.
We did it. We did it. And thank you, anybody, for listening. And thank you, Gwyn. And oh, hello, Lynn. I didn't know you were in the chat as well. But yes, thank you for the gallery listening in. I will read back all
Yes,
over
thank
that.
you guys so much.
I'm having feelings. Okay, I'm
Me
gonna stop the
too.
recording and stop wailing about my broken heart. So thank you very much. Is there anything you want to say before?
Mostly just thank you guys for listening, and and thank you, Maud, so much for letting me have this game with you. It was so much fun,
Very welcome.
and I had a
Thank
lot of
you.
feelings too.
Yeah. Okay, until next time, we can recover until next time. Well, I've got a couple of hours till
Yep.
my next one, so all right. Okay.
Oh
Oh
boy.
boy. Right.
Alrighty.
Goodbye then. Bye.
Take care. Bye.